Welcome to Try It On, the space where awareness meets the nervous system and real change begins. I'm Tiffany O'Hearn, holistic healer, nervous system guide, and speaker. And this space is for you if you've done the work. You understand your patterns, but you still find yourself reacting, overwhelmed, stuck in the same cycles, especially in your relationships. Because here, we're not just talking about healing, we're practicing it in real time through awareness, nervous system regulation, and learning how to move from reaction into response. Don't take my word for it, though. Try it on. And if you're here, I really invite you to look at some of the previous, teachings and talks that I've shared. I think I'm up close to 20 at this point, and every one is going to be the same, where it's also an invitation to try it on, for you to practice. Because if we just keep listening, but we don't actually calm our nervous system within it, if we don't actually try on some of these practices, then we're just going to continue to create from the same life, because we've creating from the same nervous system, which is reactive and in a survival state. And so if you're here, I'd love to hear from you. Comment, share, like, subscribe. This is how we grow together. And, together we can create the life that we want, that we have, that we can have, be, and do anything that we want. And through that, we're creating space for our nervous system to relearn, because we haven't taught it. We just continue to operate from survival mode until now. And so today we're talking about relationships. This is one of my favorite things to talk about, and it seems to be the same thing that you like to listen to. So it is a perfect marriage. Haha, relationships. Sometimes I'm funny. And so when we talk about relationships, they are our greatest teacher. They are your greatest challenge. And they are your greatest opportunity for growth. Because relationships don't just show you love. They show you where you're still carrying pain, where you're still holding on to the past, where your nervous system is still reacting. And so, if you've ever felt triggered in a relationship, repeating the same patterns, and asking yourself, why does this keep happening? This is why. This is why. Relationships reflect what's within you. And no relationship is a mistake. All of your relationships that you are in right now, they are for your highest evolution. And that can feel a little triggering, right? Because it may feel super bad for you in so many different ways, and very traumatic and very chaotic and very, insert whatever word you might be feeling right now. But you were in it for a reason. You were in it to grow and to learn and to expand. And it doesn't mean all relationships are meant to last. As a matter of fact, no relationships last, but we'll get into that. But the relationships that you are in now, take the ones that feel the hardest. And this is where you should pay attention the most, the loudest, however you want to say it. Because your relationships, they're showing you your patterns. They're showing you your triggers. They're showing you your unprocessed emotions. Not to punish you, to reveal you, to expand you, to grow you. And this is what this is all about. And so over time, because again, no one has taught us this. Our parents didn't teach us this, and I think that that's also a really important piece. And we're going to insert this in here. Your parents didn't teach you calm, safe relationships because they don't know calm, safe relationships, because their nervous system isn't calm and isn't safe. We cannot teach something we do not have the space for within. And so you are operating in survival from the relationships that you've been shown, from your beliefs, from your traumas, from your wounds, from the way that you were raised, from your religion, from the cultures around you, from what you were exposed to via the media, probably not social media if you're around my age or older. And so nobody showed this to you. And so with that, remove any shame, blame, or guilt. And let's just be students here, because there's something we don't know. There's something you don't know. So allow yourself to really embody this, because it will change your life. And if you're here, it's because you do want to change. It's because you've tried to change and you keep snapping back to what's familiar because of your nervous system. And so we, in relationships, we misplace responsibility all of the time. And it's so interesting because when you allow your space, or you allow yourself the space to really expand, you really start to see this play out over and over, whether it's in your own relationships or the relationships that they're showing us on TV, Netflix, whatever it is. It's one of my most favorite things to do is to watch these relationships unfurl and understand that they're just repeating toxicity, chaos, reactivity because of who's creating them. Think about that. And so where can you learn this, right? So we think it's okay to misplace this responsibility because that's what we've been shown, and that's how our nervous system is certainly reacting to it. And so within that, you make your partner or partners responsible. You make your partner responsible for you. You make your children responsible for things that are not theirs to carry, because you haven't processed them within yourself. And so you are making everybody else responsible for things that are not theirs to carry. And so if you're ready to let that go, if you're ready to really change and to really shift, then let's keep going. And so we're coming from dysregulated nervous systems. And so because we're coming from dysregulated nervous systems, we have attracted partners with also very dysregulated nervous systems. And within that, right? Within that is the growth. They are mirroring for you, same as you are for them. It doesn't matter if they're listening or not. This is your journey. This is your growth. This is your evolution. They will shift within this, I promise you. So if your ego is starting to get a little activated, thinking, well, why won't they change? Why can't they change? Forget it. Your job is to not make somebody else change. Ew. Isn't that funny that we think that? Isn't that funny you think that? Right? It's okay. You don't know what you don't know until you know something different. And so when we're dysregulated, you're taking away choice. You react. You defend. You control. You need to be right because you're not choosing. You are surviving. And your ego is on automatic pilot. I sense a threat and we need to defend the castle at all costs. And when you choose to have a conversation with your partner or your children, for me, I make sure that I'm showing up in a regulated nervous system first, because the intention of communication is to connect. It is not to defend. It is not to react. It is not to control. It is not to come from these very ego, right-minded standpoints. Because in that, we're not choosing. We're not being sovereign to who we are. We're actually just looking for a fight because we're feeling dysregulated. Thus, we need the other person, or we're inviting the other person to feel the same dysregulation, because there's safety in that, because that's what we've created, right? But your dysregulation is taking away your choice. You're not able to communicate, to connect. Take communication off the table, because now you're just defending your dysregulation against your partner's dysregulation or your children's dysregulation. Would you rather be right, or would you rather be free? I'm hoping it's the latter of the two, right? And love feels hard. It feels hard because of what we've seen love, what they right, they show us of love, what our parents have showed us of love, what our teachers have showed us of love, our siblings, go on and on down the list. And love feels hard because that's what we've received. It's not real love, because you cannot experience true, expansive love from a dysregulated nervous system, because you don't feel safe within yourself. So love becomes conditional. It becomes reactive. It becomes protective. It's not expansive, and it's certainly not grounded. A lot of the love that we feel is fear-based, and it's conditional. If you meet these, check marks that I have, described or prescribed for you, then I'll show you love. Well, you're coming from a dysregulated nervous system, because that's not what love is. And it's not what you're feeling inside, because that's what you're mirroring out. You are showing conditional love because you yourself are showing yourself conditional love. So you can't possibly show non-conditional love outside of you. You don't have the vessel for it. And so how you love your children is very conditional, even though you say it's not conditional. It is. Because you're conditional in the love you have for you. And that's why relationships feel so hard, because the relationship within ourselves is the hardest. And now we're just attracting people to mirror where we need to grow. And there's so much beauty in relationships. I mean, the true reality is they're here to show you. And gosh, that just lights me up. Because when my nervous system becomes triggered in my relationship, in my partnership, I say, wow, thank you. Thank you for showing me where I am still not healed. Thank you for this new opportunity to show myself that I am safe. This is what I practice. Safety within myself. Safety within yourself. Your self-concept shapes love. The love you experience externally reflects how you relate to yourself internally. And so there's a great amount of growth within that, because if you can pause and become aware of how you're expressing love externally, that means you can pull it back and understand how you're, experiencing it internally. And how much different love feels when you're coming from a calm, spacious, grounded nervous system. Try that on. Because there has been moments where that love feels outside of ourselves. It feels whole. It feels pure. Because we are showing up in our calm, peaceful, regulated nervous system with so much self-love within ourselves that we are radiating it out. And we're meeting our partners with the same grace and understanding that they are on their own journey. And you are here not to fix them, not to change them, but to give them the space to be them. Same as you. And so you've just mirrored all of this to yourself. But there's growth and there's beauty in that. And we can be grateful for all of these relationships. Stop resisting them. They're here to teach you, and they're not going to end. They're not going to shift. You're just going to continue to create the same experiences until you shift and change. It's not for anybody else. It's not. You can have the most beautiful, loving life when you're coming from a calm, regulated nervous system. And so let's think about why patterns repeat, because they are. They are repeating for you. You leave a relationship and you enter a new one. And this can be romantic or it can be a friendship, right? It doesn't matter, but mostly romantic. And so you leave a relationship, you have a new one. And at first it feels amazing, right? But the internal patterns remain. And so eventually the same triggers arise, the same cycles repeat. You don't like your life with them. And it's not because of them. It's because of what hasn't been seen within you. Because they're mirroring to you all of this. And it is the greatest, most loving invitation, truly. You know, every relationship feels wonderful. Well, for the most part, right? When we first start them. And then we go, uh-oh, I did the same thing. I attracted the same type of person because you haven't changed. It is not for anybody else to. Try that on. And I'm sharing this to you with so much love because, again, how many times have you heard it this way? And it may feel super triggering. And for that, I'm here with you. You know, I'm here with you. I really am. I'm sending you so much love and compassion. But these relationships are here to teach you. So listen, grow. That's what you're here for. That's what this is about. And so let's talk about relationships ending because they all end. They all end. You could be married for 75 years. It's still going to end because someone's going to leave. Someone's going to pass on, right? So whether they end it because you've broken them off or because people have passed on, relationships end. And it's, like I said, through separation or death. And that's the nature of relationships. That is the harmony in them. And so the question isn't how do I keep this forever? It's what is this here to teach me? And surrender to that. Invite it. Invite it because that's where the change happens. That's where the shift happens, is in that. It's in the pause. It's in the stillness. It's in the calm, regulated nervous system. And if this is landing for you, this is exactly the work that I do in my one-to-one sessions. I help you recognize your patterns that regulate your nervous system and shift how you show up in your relationships. And they're open when you're ready, if you're ready. I'm also creating more workshops and things like that because it's time. It is time. You are asking for it. You are. You wouldn't still be here. And so, you know, the real shift is surrendering to the relationships you are in, not in passivity, in awareness. Let it show you where you're triggered, where you're reactive, and where you're still holding the past. Something that I repeat to myself when I feel my nervous system engaging, especially when it comes to relationships, is this is memory, not reality. This is the past. And thank you. I love you. Because now I have choice, because I have paused, which allows me choice to choose. Am I going to defend the castle? Or am I going to come from a calm, regulated nervous system so my response is sovereign and true to me and not meant to push or needle you because I feel dysregulated? That's the real work. It's not fixing them. It's not blaming them. It's not showing them all the ways that they've messed you up. It's meeting yourself through awareness, through regulation, through authenticity, through honesty, through space. You can have that. You can have that. You're one choice away. You're one pause away. Because when change happens, when you regulate your nervous system, you create space. You access your intuition. You respond instead of react. You're communicating to connect in pure, unconditional love. And that's how love becomes something different. And so with that, let's practice. The next time you feel triggered in a relationship, pause. Don't speak right away. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly. And ask, what is this showing me? What am I feeling in my body? Am I reacting or responding? And you just notice that's where the shift begins. So try that on. In that space, you have choice. You're showing your nervous system something new. You're allowing space. You are witnessing. That's where the magic is. That's where the miracles occur. And so it's not about getting this right or perfect. Those are matters for the ego. It's about practicing. It's about trying it on. 1%. Just try it once today, because there is a relationship that will trigger you today. It will. And in that, your greatest shift is to pause. Create space. And again, don't just believe me. It is a deep invitation for you to try this on and show your self-love in it. Thank you for showing me. I love you. I love you. I love you. And we're just going to breathe and show our nervous system how safe we are. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. Everything changes in your life. Everything shifts. You can have, be, and do whatever it is you desire, want, imagine yourself to be. Because when we are dysregulated in our nervous system, everything reflects that. And you are the common denominator in your life. So try that on. Try that on. Your relationships, they aren't happening to you. They're showing you something. And the moment you stop asking who is to blame, and you start asking, what is this showing me? Everything changes. Because love doesn't deepen through control. It deepens through awareness. I'll say it again. Love doesn't deepen through control. It deepens through awareness. And we all want love. We all want to give love. We all want to receive love. It's up to you. So if this resonated, follow along. This is the work we do here. And if you're ready to go deeper, one-to-one sessions are open. Because this is Try It On, where awareness meets the nervous system and real change begins from within. So take this into your life, not as something to believe, but as something to try. Until next time, my beautiful soul. Cheers.